Lewis Hamilton's weekend at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix was supposed to show progress. After the challenges he faced at the start of the 2025 season, this race was meant to be a step closer to feeling comfortable with the SF25, Ferrari's latest car. It was meant to show that Hamilton was adjusting, learning and beginning to close the performance gap to his new teammate, Charles Leclerc. Instead, what happened in Saudi Arabia was something completely different. It served as a harsh reminder of how much work still remains. It highlighted that the road ahead is much longer and more difficult than many had expected. And now Ferrari's team principal Fred Vasseur has publicly confirmed just how deep Hamilton's struggles really are. Vasseur didn't try to cover anything up. After another disappointing performance from Hamilton, he spoke honestly about the situation. He admitted what many observers had been suspecting for some time. Hamilton is not connecting with the SF25. This is not a case of small setup issues. It is not about bad luck or random technical problems. It is something much deeper, a fundamental mismatch between the car and the driver. Even Hamilton himself admitted that the progress he thought he had made during the Bahrain Grand Prix had completely disappeared in Saudi Arabia. It was as if the gains he had worked so hard for were wiped away in a single weekend. This revelation raises serious questions about the partnership between Lewis Hamilton and Ferrari. When Hamilton signed with Ferrari, it was seen as a historic move. Fans and experts alike believed that the combination of one of the greatest drivers in history and one of the most famous teams in Formula One would create magic. But just 2 races into the season, the reality is looking very different. There are real concerns about whether this partnership can succeed if Hamilton and the SF25 cannot find harmony. The numbers from Saudi Arabia tell a very difficult story. After the second practice session on Friday, Hamilton was sitting in 13th place. When asked about his expectations for Saturday, he responded with brutal honesty, saying that Saturdays tend to be worse for him. It was a comment that landed heavily because it showed that even Hamilton himself was not feeling confident. Although he managed to reach Q3 in qualifying, he only qualified in 7th place, nearly 0.6 of a second behind Leclerc, who managed to secure a spot in the top 4. This is not the kind of performance that Ferrari or Hamilton had envisioned when they began this journey together. It is not just about the raw lap times either. What made the situation even more alarming were the radio messages from Hamilton during practice sessions. During FP3, Hamilton asked his team how far off the pace he was. The reply was brutal, 0.7 of a second just in Sector 1. Hamilton's response was a stunned "geez," a single word that said more than any long explanation ever could. Later he radioed again saying, "I just don't have the grip, mate, I don't know." This wasn't anger or frustration. It was something deeper, resignation. A sense that he was doing everything he could, but the car simply wasn't responding. This is not a new problem for Hamilton at Ferrari. Since the very first race of the season, he has been fighting to find comfort in the SF25. He has worked tirelessly, tweaking every part of the car he could, adjusting engine braking, changing suspension settings, experimenting with tire pressures. But no matter what he tried, the performance gains never came. Now Fred Vasseur has confirmed what Hamilton has been feeling. The connection between driver and car simply isn't there. Vasseur echoed Hamilton's comments after qualifying, confirming that the team understands the problem runs deeper than just bad luck or bad setup choices. One of the most eye-opening moments came when Hamilton admitted that the lessons he thought he had learned in Bahrain simply did not carry over to Saudi Arabia. "It's just me," Hamilton said. "I'm not messing with the car. I was optimistic after the last race and thought I could carry those learnings forward, but they haven't stuck." For a 7-time world champion, these are extraordinary words. To hear someone of Hamilton's experience say that he feels like he's back at square one is shocking. It shows just how difficult the situation really is. The deeper issue here is not just about lap times or finishing positions. It is about confidence. Hamilton is a rhythm driver. Throughout his career, he has always performed at his best when he feels completely connected to his car. When the car responds exactly as he expects, he is able to push to the limit with total confidence. Right now, that connection is missing. The SF25 feels unpredictable, inconsistent, and foreign to him. And that makes it almost impossible for him to perform at his best. Fred Vasseur's comments suggest that Ferrari understands this is not just a Hamilton problem, it is a Ferrari problem. The SF25 itself may have deeper design flaws that make it difficult for any driver to fully trust. Even Charles Leclerc, who is generally more comfortable with the car, has had his complaints. During FP3, Leclerc radioed the team saying, "This feels like the car's limit. I can't go any quicker in the corners. It's sliding on all four tires." This shows that the SF25's problems go beyond just one driver. The car itself has limitations that are holding both drivers back, but the spotlight is much harsher on Hamilton. He is the big-name signing, the superstar who is expected to bring immediate success. Every poor result feels magnified. Every mistake is scrutinized. Every bad weekend leads to questions about whether the move to Ferrari was the right decision. And now those questions are growing louder. Hamilton will start Sunday's race from 7th place. In past years, that would not have been a problem for him. He has built his career on incredible racecraft, tire management, and strategic brilliance. But this time, there is a real sense of uncertainty. He is not lacking motivation, but he simply does not have the connection with the car that he needs. Every lap feels like a struggle. Every stint feels like a gamble. This situation is about more than just the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. It could have serious implications for the entire 2025 season. If Hamilton cannot find a way to unlock the performance of the SF25, Ferrari's hopes for a championship challenge could disappear very quickly. And it is not just Ferrari that will be affected. If Ferrari struggles, it opens the door for other teams like McLaren, Aston Martin, and even Mercedes to move up the standings. Ferrari's inconsistency could shift the entire balance of power in Formula One. What makes this situation even more complicated is the fact that Hamilton's struggles are not just technical, they are emotional and psychological as well. Confidence is everything in Formula One. When a driver feels unsure of their car, it affects every decision they make on track. It makes them more cautious, less willing to take risks, less able to push the limits. Hamilton's comments after qualifying show that he is feeling that uncertainty, and that is a very dangerous situation for a team that is relying on him to deliver results. The SF25 is proving to be a mysterious car. On some weekends, it looks competitive. It shows flashes of brilliance, quick lap times, good tire management, solid race pace. But then, without warning, it becomes a nightmare. It loses grip, it becomes unstable, and it leaves the drivers fighting just to stay on track. This unpredictability is not just frustrating, it is damaging to the team's chances of success. Fred Vasseur and his engineering staff are now under enormous pressure. The decisions they make over the next few weeks will be critical. They must decide where to focus their development efforts. They must find ways to improve the car's consistency. They must give Hamilton and Leclerc the tools they need to fight at the front. And they must do it quickly, before the season slips away. This is not just about technical details anymore. It is about the entire philosophy of the team. What kind of team does Ferrari want to be? Are they willing to adapt, to evolve, to make bold changes in order to support their drivers? Or will they stick stubbornly to a flawed concept and watch their title hopes disappear? The truth is, if a driver like Hamilton, someone who has successfully adapted to every major regulation change over the past 15 years, cannot find pace in this car, then the problem might be built into the very foundation of the SF25. It may not be something that can be fixed with small updates or setup changes. It may require a complete rethink of Ferrari's approach. At the same time, it is important to remember that Hamilton is not giving up. He is one of the most determined drivers in the history of Formula One. He has overcome challenges before. He has fought back from difficult situations. And he will continue to fight now. But he cannot do it alone. He needs Ferrari to give him a car he can trust. The story of Hamilton's first season with Ferrari is still being written. There are still many races to come. There is still time for things to turn around. But the challenges are real, and the clock is ticking. Every race that passes without progress puts more pressure on the team and on Hamilton himself. In the end, This is not just a story about one bad weekend. It is a story about expectations, reality, and the difficult road to success. It is a story